Good afternoon, everybody. Hold on, there we go. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope everyone's having a good Friday so far. Welcome into today's stream, where we are, of course, going to be continuing on with our Victoria 3 campaign as Japan. We'll get into what we've been doing since it has been, I think, at least a week since we continued this campaign. Of course, as we get more people into the stream as well. But first, I'd like to give a solid hello to, or a good afternoon to the Stalin DLRP, the first chatter in today's stream. Yes, we've been doing a little bit of casual imperialism so far in our Japan playthrough. I think we do need to get a little bit more competitive, but we haven't been doing too poorly. See, we do have the #1 GDP, and the #2 spot is a little bit far behind. So, we are already doing quite well for ourselves, and that's only going to continue getting better. As we continue to expand and we continue to basically do more imperialism. Today, I think, is actually going to be the day where we get into our ranked competitive imperialism, because after all, we do have the next mandate coming up on our power block here. And once we get colonial offices #3, if it'll actually show me where what that does. Here we go. Once we get to level 3 here, then it provides the colonial affairs with the additional -5% infamy generation against unrecognized powers. And so, of course, as we go over here and see our institution here, we're going to immediately get -20% infamy generation against unrecognized powers. On top of that, we would very much like to pick up, where is it? Yeah, multilateral alliances for another -25% infamy generation. That's going to be pretty big. And then, of course, I actually don't know if we can get more than that. I think that's the max infamy generation reduction we can have. So at that point, we're going to have a lot of free Qing land to actually take. So that's kind of the rundown of how things are going so far. I'm going to give it a little bit longer for people to join into today's stream before we actually go ahead and get started per se. Let me see here. Hello, Mr. Overheat. Celebrating the 6-month mod anniversary on Twitch. 6 months. I feel like it's been longer than that, but maybe I'm crazy. Let me make sure I've clicked all the correct buttons and I've done all the right things. I think I have. Okay. Are you winning, Quarbit? I feel like we've already kind of won, in a sense. We just need to win harder. Like, we need to have a better navy because the British are kind of crazy with it. They really are the only country that I don't have any confidence we'd be able to win against just because their navy is enormous. Russia, I feel like we could probably beat up Russia, to be honest. How strong is your army / or navy? 7,000 on the army. We have 12,000 on the army. Okay. Our navy is 38,000 strength. Who's the next largest? Spain? They have 10,000. Okay, so I think it's safe to say that we have the second strongest navy in the world. It's kind of weird that Spain has almost no ownership. How is 22% of your GDP owned by Cuba? How does Cuba own more of the GDP in Spain than Spain owns in Cuba? How on earth is Spain getting colonized by their own colony? How did you even do that? That's actually a very impressive Cuba, by the way. Almost 20 million GDP, that's actually impressive. Gotta commend the AI a little bit for that one. I don't even know how they did that. Maybe I gotta play a Cuba campaign one of these days. Chat, do you know if they actually I know they made Cuba content, like, for the Spain DLC, but did they actually give them content, or did they just have some stuff for, like, becoming independent and a few modifiers? Like, do they have content for unifying the Caribbean at all? Because that's one of the things that I kind of wish we had content for in the Caribbean, is the ability to actually, you know, become the Caribbean and unify it. I think that would be kind of neat. I wish we had content, so true. It's actually, that's real, but for all of Victoria 3. Also, hello, Saf. I wish we had content for Victoria 3 in general. It feels like we just don't have that much actual content, you know what I mean? Like, sure, we have mechanics. A lot of mechanics, but not really that much actual content. What is Red Germany? This is Communist Germany. Might actually just be Socialist Germany. They're actually not even Socialist Germany. They still have interventionism. Council Republic interventionism. So, it's basically, I think, state capitalism. That's kind of what it seems like to me. It's kind of like, it's communism with German characteristics. That's what it is. I love Hail Columbia for that reason. I think there's also a Hail Columbia submod. Where there's like a mod that uses Hail Columbia, but it's Canada, and it looked interesting, and I might make a video on it actually. I'm sure one day they probably will make actual content for North America. But that day is not today, and it's not tomorrow, and it's not this year, and it's probably not even next year either. Like, we're probably not going to get anything for North America at all. Play it for Canada Day, so true. That's actually a really good idea. It depends whether or not I'm going to be at a cottage on Canada Day, actually. There's a good chance I might be. We'll see about that. But if not, I just might. Anyway, I feel like it has been long enough. We probably could get started with our silly little imperialism today. Starting with the fact that we need to build more construction. I'm starting to realize that whoever said that we probably should turn Korea into actual states was kind of right. Because I really will run out of construction sectors at some point. But not yet. Let's see, where do we want to build these? Probably in here. We'll just stack them. Hello, Lolang, how's it going? Landowners, that's pretty cringe. I think what we want to do right now is just try to get Manchuria into the power block and then subjugate them. I might also transfer Spain over to myself. Not Spain, the Philippines. But I would like to know, do you have defensive pacts? With Germany and Russia. That's kind of cooked. Well, Russia's not that strong, I don't think. If I wanted to take the rest of Manchuria from you, can I do that? I actually might be able to do that. Okay, I'm gonna decay my infamy first, and then we'll sort of circle back on that. I just said circle back, that's kind of gross. I feel corporate. Oh yeah, my ships also suck. I forgot about that. What do we have here? It's more like what we don't have. Well, I guess the Navy is super strong. Yeah, maybe we don't need it to be stronger right now. Not sure when it's correct to leave things unstated in Victoria 3, honestly. I think it has to do mostly with... Well, in late game, it's going to be the number of states. Because one of the problems that I had when I was playing Australia is that they have, like, actually 5 states. Maybe 6. And the problem is that you will very quickly run out of the ability to make more construction sectors. Which I think is a little bit dumb. I think having anything in Victoria 3 tied to, like, a set number in a state is a little bit dumb. Because the sizes of states vary. And also the population varies, and so many things vary. What am I even passing right now? Oh yeah, we do want that actually. Okay, we'll do that. Remember capped ports? Man. Capped anything in this game just never made any sense to me. Except for, like, maybe naval fortifications for game balance. But construction sectors aren't even one of those things that say, for game balance, it's reasonable. Like, that's just weird. Yeah, we'll take the top option. Also, am I on laissez-faire yet? No. I would like to be. But nobody else wants to. How are the Zybots actually willing to go laissez-faire? Ah, market liberal, that makes sense. Because usually they're protectionist, so... Okay, yeah, I think I would like to pass laissez-faire at some point. That would be nice. The Netherlands was famously incapable of trading because they didn't have enough coastline for boats to land on. Historical fact. That's so true. It's real and true. You actually don't even have to work that one or look that one up. That's true. Okay, yeah, we're probably going to be hostile with Germany. No communism in Japan. We can't have communism because we need to do imperialism, and those two typically don't go hand in hand that well. Alright, there we go. And Shuri is added to the power block. Let me just make sure, are we contravening any treaties? I don't think so. I think everything's fine here. Alright, we're gonna sit here and burn down this infamy for a little bit. And then, we'll deal with Russia and Spain, probably. I think I would actually like to pick up the armored cruisers. The iron frigates are just kind of okay. While we're kind of sitting here chilling, you know what's a really good movie I think people should watch? It came out kind of recently. Not The Backrooms, which I haven't seen yet, but I probably will at some point. But there's a horror movie that came out called Obsession, and it is really, really good. I watched it last Sunday, and it was... it just has you stressing the entire time. It's an incredibly stressful watch. I don't think I care about either of these interest groups, actually. So, that's too bad. Oh, also, I should not be subsidizing this. I just wanted to see if I could have this work. It seems like it kind of is. Obsession is crazy, so good. It is such a good movie. Like, just leaving the theater, I was like, wow, that was a good movie. I keep thinking about it. Like, it really is just such a good movie. I think it really has the best kind of horror, which, in my opinion, is the kind of horror where you can imagine yourself actually in a situation kind of like that. It's not even like supernatural horror where it's like, ah, it's ghosts, you know? That's not gonna happen to me. I'm fine. And while obviously it's like, you know, blown out of proportion, when you're watching the movie, you're like, oh my god. If I don't log in, I could actually end up I could end up in a relationship like this. If I'm not careful. It's like just having a in some ways it's like, yeah, it is a partly supernatural movie, but also it's like, hold on. There are people out there who could actually end up in a relationship this toxic. And that's the scary part. That's the true horror of the movie. Anyway, how many Koreans do we have in Kyushu? Oh, we have like nobody. That's whatever. Have I seen The Mandalorian? I actually have not. I heard it was really good though. Oh, did I actually? No, I need to incorporate Taiwan as well. I actually forgot that I took Taiwan. Incorporating that still. Okay, nice. Ooh, earthquakes. Imagine you have an earthquake and your government's like, oh shoot, we need to make sure that other people can study this. Like... Empire of Japan indefinitely gets minus 20% earthquake harvest condition impact. Indefinitely? I mean, yeah, I'll take that. We absolutely do need to figure out how to deal with the earthquakes. Kind of a big deal. We are so cooked. We are not passing commercialized agriculture. Also, I need more construction still. 16 million GDP, am I crazy? Or not GDP, 16 million investment pool? More. Oh, also, right, New Guinea, as I have realized in my campaign as Australia, is actually a pretty solid state. Like, this island actually has a lot to it. Like, there's oil here, there's sulfur, there's iron, there's wood, there's rubber. There's actually so much in here. So, am I not colonizing this? Japanese East Indies. You have a claim to this? Okay, so because you don't have a claim to that... Colonized by Lao? How the hell are... You don't even have a coastline. How are you colonizing over here? Oh my god. Okay, anyway, so it's a really good state. I might actually just stake colonial claims on it. Shaman also has malaria. That's true, but the malaria isn't actually that big of a deal. I mean, it is for now, but if we go ahead and research malaria prevention, which I probably am going to do fairly soon, probably, then that's not a big deal. And also, I'm going to pick up multilateral alliances after. In fact, I might even rush those, because these two are the biggest bottlenecks for our expansion right now. So I think we do want to pick up both of these. The reduced infamy generation and the max colonial affairs and the removing malaria from colonies. That's all pretty important stuff. Who's colonizing Australia? I don't even know, man. We have Maguindanao, Uluru, Tasmania owns the coasts. I don't really know what's happening here. I think we should put Australia out of its misery. And then the Aotearoa uprising as well. I think it's cooked. I think Australia is just a failed colony at this point. GDP of 3 million. Like, it's completely cooked. We might as well just, you know, put it under new governance, I think. I think that would be good. And yeah, we could befriend these guys. I feel like the British are just gonna crush this instantly. They will deal with this. I mean, maybe I could just... Do you want money? You definitely need money. You desperately need money. Hold on. What if I fund and get a little power block embassy, maybe get some trade privileges, maybe I don't know about guaranteed independence, it's gonna make the British super upset. But I will give you some money. I'll give you 5,000 a week, and maybe I'll transfer you some artillery. And I will transfer you some ammunition. And some guns, of course. Give you 40 of these. Whoa, 40, not 50. Hello? 40. Thank you. Ask for a little obligation. Maybe some investment rights. Yeah, we'll see what's going on with that a little bit. Maybe I'll take on your debt too. How bad is that? 216,000, easy. We'll do that for you. I don't know if this is going to help them at all. I'm kind of just hoping they can build some semblance of an army. I think they're kind of cooked, if I'm being honest. I don't think there's any amount of help we could give them that would actually mean anything. But, hey, we're gonna give them the best chance they have. Who knows, maybe they'll get their independence. Okay, clearly we still need to build more building, more construction. I did swap over to the new construction, right? Yes I did. Okay, nice. More construction. Can you make the New Zealand uprising your vassal? I mean, not really, not so long as there's still an uprising. If they do gain their independence, then yeah, absolutely. I would love to do that, actually. Interest is still kind of a lot right now. More than I would like it to be. Probably because we do not have laissez-faire, and I would like to have that. But we need to pass commercialized agriculture. So we're just gonna have to wait. Oh yippee, we have an illegitimate government. I think that's probably because the petit bourgeoisie have become authoritarian. Many such cases. They did do that every now and then. Okay, we'll bring in the Zaibatsu, and hopefully those guys will support this a little bit more. Unfortunately, that does kind of mess up the petition, but these guys are so weak at this point that I barely even care. Do the trade unions actually have any power? Oh, they kind of do. Oh, that's not good. Please don't try to do socialism. We really do not need socialism right now. I do have exploitation on, right? Yeah, okay. Also kind of wondering if maybe it would be meta to go colonial slavery. Maybe? Does this say that it locks cultural exclusion? It unlocks cultural exclusion. Okay, so we can still do cultural exclusion, and... Actually, do we care about cultural exclusion? Let me check who has rights in my country. So, I think this is mostly, like, this population here. This is Japanese and Koreans? Japanese and Ryukyuans. Oh, okay, just Japanese are the full acceptance. And then second class, I think, is probably the Koreans? I'm actually not too sure. Let's see. Okay, so these are the Koreans and Han. Who are these guys? Also Han. Wait, what's making some of you open prejudice and some of you are second class? Why is that difference between the same populations of people? Oh, because their religion has a heritage trait, Taoic. Oh, because they're Confucian. As opposed to these guys, which are Mahayana. Or wait, these are Confucian Koreans. I don't know, I'm confused. Like, what's wrong with you? Cultural community acceptance. That's the difference. But why? Cultural community acceptance. What is this? Indicates a certain culture is present in a state and allows your pops in your market to migrate to this state. Oh, because they're cultural communities. In certain areas are getting debuffs. Okay, so it's just some states have debuffs, I guess. You heard Amazon cancel new Stargate TV series because they could be too fan-friendly? I don't even know what that means. I think I've heard of the Stargate series, but I don't know anything about it. Alright, we need more crew. What happened to your passing of the law? Went from 48% to 5%? This one? We went ahead and swapped out the people in charge, so the Zaibatsu are now in charge. And they want commercialized agriculture. Okay, well, we can't seem to get anything done in this country. Hi, Corbin, are you winning? Yeah, I'd say for the most part. Generally. We definitely need more iron frigates. Problem is, our iron frigates kind of suck. They do not give us that much, what's it called, screening? So we have to build an infinite number of iron frigates just to screen our modern ironclads. But our navy is eventually, hopefully within the next 10 years, going to become stronger than Britain's. I think I am somehow managing to simultaneously piss off everybody in the Empire, which is not good. Also, we're gonna remove taxes on things. I think at this point I'm just gonna put a whole bunch of these construction edicts everywhere to build as fast as possible. I would also like to know how much of the GDP here is actually from... Yeah, I was gonna say, we're not gonna have that much from actually digging things out of the ground here. Except in Kyushu. But in Tohoku, having our increased thing here doesn't make any sense. Manufacturing makes a lot more sense. Look at this throughput. That is beautiful. This is peak. Just during the stream, is the budget supposed to be exploding like that? Yes. This is all within exactly what I expected we would be doing. Because we have a massive amount of credit. The interest isn't as low as I would like it to be, but it's not actually that bad. We do need to swap off of per capita taxation. Once we get proportional, that's going to be huge for recouping some of this budget. But yeah, the budget's actually not that bad. Gonna reenact Port Arthur. I actually do not know what happened at Port Arthur. Or maybe I did at some point, but I don't remember. Which company did I pick up here? Oh, maybe I didn't get the company I needed. Hold on. First of all, we love having illegitimate governments. Let's go! I don't know why you guys are no longer in the government. That was kind of weird. Oh, because we split off into new parties. That's why. Oh, I don't really like that these guys are going to be in charge. Kind of wanted the industrialists to be in charge. In fact, we're going to allow them to be in charge for now. Just so we can finish this off. Maybe census suffrage was a mistake. Political deadlock just a week away. No, it's fine. Anyway, we do need a company for the government of Chosen. We need Mantatsu or the Oriental Development Company. And I think I picked up Mitsui because it was the one thing that we needed for the corporate empire. Yeah, so these companies need to be prosperous, and they are. They just need to own 25% of the economy. And then we can finish this off, which is super important for us. Oh, that goes to interventionism? Oh. Pause. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. This is kind of cracked, isn't it? Hold on. Zaibatsu oligopoly. Minus 20% loan interest rate. Hold up. Wait a minute. That's actually pretty good. Okay, so maybe we don't have to go laissez-faire. But I guess the question is, if I go laissez-faire, is that going to break this, actually? To curtail the Zaibatsu. Actually, what happens if we curtail them? We break the oligopoly. I didn't even realize that we could or even should break the oligopoly. I just thought, like, yeah, we're going to give them everything. I thought I was supposed to do the top option and then failing it was bad, but actually failing it is just a different path. But no, we're gonna do the corporate empire. Okay, anyway, so we needed the company for that. They're still working on building up the economy, that's cool. And then afterwards, we're going to get a permanent reduction to our loan interest rate. Zaibatsu oligopoly will improve the company construction bonus. Oh yeah, what do you know? It is 15%. Okay, so either we improve the construction bonus or we get the free company charter, which I don't really care as much about. Interesting. Japan invaded Russia. Port Arthur is located in the part of Manchuria between Korea and the other part you control. Oh, like over here. This is Port Arthur. Yeah. I remember that now. Oh man, not minus 20% to the party I want to have in charge of the country. Oh man. Please let me pass this. Please let me pass this before the election. At the very least, if I don't get my laissez-faire, at least give me that. Actually, does anybody know what does happen if I swap to laissez-faire and then do the corporate empire? Just out of curiosity, like, do I actually get minus 45% loan interest rate on laissez-faire in that case? That is the question. Vic 3. Japan corporate empire. Maybe the wiki will tell me. I don't know if the wiki is actually updated. Maybe. Let's see. We should have something for this. Maybe not. Go with journal entries. Here we go. Main article, Japanese content. It does not say anything about the corporate empire. Okay, I think this is actually maybe not updated. They have the restoration, they have like modernization, state Shinto, the Tenpo crisis. But there's nothing here about this actual journal entry, which is not very helpful. Did it have a different name by any chance? The corporate empire. No, I just don't think it's in the wiki at all. Okay, well that's helpful. That's really neat. Okay, maybe we will never know. That's a possibility. Yeah, okay, it doesn't exist. Cool. So I guess we'll never know, unless I want to go into the actual files to know whether or not the effects of Zaibatsu oligopoly will be added to our laissez-faire. I guess we'll never know. Also, yeah, we can give that to Manchuria. That's cool. Is it a viable tactic to try and force Koreans to migrate from Korea to mainland Japan to assimilate them? Probably not the greatest strategy. I mean, you could probably do it, but... like, I think we do end up getting some people moving into Japan. Like, down here in Shikoku, we do have almost 20% Korean pops. We have quite a few in Kanto as well. But generally speaking, I don't think that's the main strat you're trying to go with. I'm pretty sure with the government of Chosen, what you're trying to do by the end of this is incorporate Korea and just turn them into Japanese culture in their own home states. All states in Korea need to be at least 5% Japanese. And then, yeah, then after that, for 15 years, you get increased assimilation. Yeah, maybe if I switched the laws first, then I would get the oligopoly added. That was kind of my main point. Is interventionism a requirement? I don't think it is. We don't want to be that friendly with the British. To cement the Zaibatsu, we just need some companies to be prosperous, they own enough building levels, and they own enough of the economy. And then after that, it just works. So I feel like it just gets added to whatever system of economy we have now. Common People's Party's it's getting a little bit too strong. It's getting a little too powerful. They want warrior caste? That's pretty funny. I like how for these events, they were clearly written in like the Christian context, like a monotheistic context, so that when they have to port them over to the East, they're like, how do we do this? Just make God plural. That's super funny. Convinced that their victory has been foreseen in God's plans. Who are we to stand against God's will? Anyway, yeah, we're not going to give the Shinto monks anything, really. Ooh, here we go. Vertically integrated agriculture is kind of goated. What else can we do with this, though? Make people more communist? Hell no. Workers' protections? Absolutely not. I like this. The construction efficiency, the financial district's investment into plantations, ranches, agriculture. Political strength of the capitalists. What if we just give everything to the capitalists? I think we should do that. Are you guys still kicking? You're not dead yet? That's surprising. Oh, they might actually just get their white piece. They might get their independence. How are you failing this badly? You don't really have that many issues right now, Britain. How are you failing to put this revolt down? And they're losing control over Australia as well? Oof. It's kind of embarrassing. I think we've maxed out construction here. Yup. More construction. More. Yeah, we're gonna pick up wargaming and then... Actually, do I want malaria or multilateral alliances first? Probably multilateral alliances and then we pick up malaria prevention. Let me just make sure my militaries are up to date. Qing army. We can just get rid of that. They all look fine to me. Formosan Uprising Army. Okay, well. Who are you? 10,000 people chilling down here? Okay, that makes sense. And then we have the Marines. I might just rename these to the Marines. Wait, do you put an S at the end of that? You put an S at the end of core. My bad. I mean, when I literally can't spell. Actually, how many Marines can we support? A lot. We can support a lot of Marines. 55 of them. Okay, we're gonna expand the Marine Army. We're gonna have like a full actual army from the Marines. Uh, 45... 40 in here. There we go. Victoria 3 has so many silly government names. In one game, the German National Communist Technique was called the Cybernetic State. I support it, to be honest. I like having the free aura farming names. Because like the Cybernetic State, that's just free aura. Council Republic, cringe. Cybernetic State, now we're talking. Come on, 52%. Let's go! We're so back. That is huge for us. Okay, now I need to figure out a way to break it to my population that we will be going laissez-faire. They are not going to like us. They're not going to like this. The trade unions already are not a big fan of us. So we're gonna compromise. Trade unions? Okay, you like this, right? You like proportional taxation? And also, I'm pretty sure you just won an election, didn't you? Who won that? Pretty close. We have the Conservative Party, or the Constitutional Government Association. Sure. And then we have Common People's Party. So, it's kind of diametrically opposed parties here. It's a little bit awkward. Maybe it's best if neither of them are in charge. But, well, anyway, we are going to put these guys in charge for now to make them happy, okay? You get to be in charge, and I'm going to use that to get proportional taxation. Now, this makes the trade unions happy, right? You like proportional taxation, right? +5 from enacting proportional taxation. Okay. Very nice. Very cool. Why not graduated? One step at a time. Don't want to give the people too much, otherwise their standard of living will go up too much. And we don't want that to happen until maybe like 1905 or something. Also, are we even extracting stuff out of China? Oh yeah, okay, we're getting the coal mines up. That's good. Art academies? What? Why do we have so many art academies? In my good colony? Artwork in my colony? No, 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 no. We can't be doing that. We need you to do agriculture. Also, don't we have, hold on. We have colonial exploitation. Oh, right, because that doesn't apply to wheat farms. Oh, yeah. Well, we're gonna need to start doing agriculture around here. Hey, what do you know? They got their independence. We're so back. Welcome, Aotearoa, to the Japanese Empire. We are so back. Let's just make sure that this treaty still works. I think it does. Well, we're gonna renegotiate it, actually, because I don't really want to transfer you anything. We don't have to do this either. Oh, I guess we can't do that. How long is this treaty? Because what if nobody wants this treaty? What if I guarantee your independence? And we give each other mutual trade privileges. And I don't give you any money. No, you definitely want the money. Okay, I guess that's fair. You don't really have an economy. Okay, you know what? You can have... Maybe you can have, like... I'll give you 4,000. You know what? I'm generous enough. 4,000 isn't that much to me. You can have that. Sure. Oh yeah, I forgot that you get free claims if you colonize stuff hard enough. You know what? Screw it. I'll make that a core state. Okay, we just need to wait 11 months. Yeah, we'll take that. 11 months, then we pick up Colonial Offices 3, and then we can actually do stuff. Although I'm not really sure who to invade. Maybe Uluru. Does anybody have claims here? Yeah, Tasmania does. Okay. But nobody really has claims in here. Well, Tasmania does here. But not over here. Maybe I should just take Uluru and Maguindanao and then just colonize Northern Australia. Oh, it's so cooked. Too many human rights in your empire? You have to look at it this way. We're doing human rights, but only for the people in the core of the empire. I have to figure out how much of my market is actually exporting to America. Holy shit, we import like half of the world's stuff. We are so inefficient with our import-exports. That is cooked. It's actually not that bad, but that's crazy. Anyway, America. How much do we trade with America? Not that much. Who are we even exporting to? Oh my god, we produce so many tools. We produce more tools than the rest of the world combined, and it's not even close. Exporting coal as Japan is very funny. We export steel, we export glass. I don't even know if we want to embargo the Americans, that's the thing. Let me check the American market. What are you importing? Do you import tools from me? No, you kind of make your own tools. American market, trade. Whoa, do not unpause. You're importing from my market, you're importing coal from me, you're importing steel from me, and fertilizer, and sulfur and lead. They're not like our major importer, but I don't even know who our major importer is, like who buys our stuff. We are exporting... Oh, wait a second. We can check. We can check kind of in this way, but I don't know how to... How do I get this? Here we go. Okay, so never mind. They actually are kind of important to us. In terms of our imports, we import quite a decent bit of wood. Or we import some wood, at least. Maybe it's not even that much. I thought it would be in order of, like, how much you're exporting. But no, that's not the case. Because we are exporting tools way more to the British market than we are to the American market. Yeah, maybe we do embargo America. Screw it, I don't even care. The only thing is like, oh, what if we need oil? Well, in this case, we actually do have sources of oil. We have Brunei, for example. They will spawn oil. We have Papua. That has oil in it. Trying to figure out where else we have oil. I think it's also in... Maybe it's in Java somewhere? Maybe there's oil here? I don't remember. I know for sure there's going to be oil in Australia, so if we take Australia, it'll be fine. Stay friendly with Americans until you're ready to take Alaska. We are not friendly with the Americans. They hate us, actually. They despise us. And I think... yeah, they're already embargoing us, actually. So it's kind of interesting that we're even trading with one another. I would just be returning the favor here. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna embargo them. I don't know why I thought so much about that. We'll embargo them. I might even rival them. Who cares? They don't like me? Okay, and? I'm the one with the world's economy here. Hokkaido does not have that much industry, so you know what? It's kind of fine if we just force them back to work. Spain, are you still friends with Russia? Yes. With Germany? Yes. Okay. France at war with Russia. Fascinating. Actually, that gives me an idea. If I wanted to take the Philippines... Okay, it's hard to tell because... it doesn't really show us if they're going to get involved. What if I went to Spain directly? Now, there's really nothing we could do to know for sure. Is there anything I can take from Spain just to check? Because this doesn't count. If I do this, then we don't really know if Russia or Germany will get involved. They might. If Russia does, it's probably not that bad. Maybe I'll make a second navy. Well, I can't really do that while we still have all these ships that are undefended. I just don't like building more of these iron frigates. But we're gonna do it. At least until we can pick up... which one? I don't even know which one is better. The armored cruisers or the protected cruisers? Fast long-range cruiser with armored deck protecting its vital components. Okay, and this one? A larger cruiser with a heavy armor belt. Capable of engaging most targets save battleships. Okay, so I'm going to assume that the armored cruiser is better than the protected cruiser. Mostly because it costs more stuff. And that seems reasonable to me. Okay, we definitely want to research pre-dreadnought when we get the chance. Speaking of research, we are not doing too great. I kind of forgot that our innovation cap is based on literacy. And our literacy is not great when we consider... Well, no, actually, it's part of your incorporated states. So I guess it doesn't matter that much. Or I should say it's from the incorporated states. Okay, we're... What? The German Ark. The government has suggested deporting the non-citizens among the arrested communists to Germany. And it's actually a really good idea. That's maybe the funniest part. Is that it actually does make the entire state 2% more loyalist. Sure, alright. Like, zero downsides, that's kind of funny. This better work. Actually... No, it's fine. This better work, though. Okay, we need more construction. Trying to figure out how I can increase my innovation here. I feel like I'm behind, but I don't know if that's true. How much innovation are you doing, Britain? 54% literacy. That's pretty cringe. Okay, so you have a cap of 130. And my cap is 156. So I guess over time, we will surpass Britain, kind of? Or at the very least, it can't get any worse. That's not for another 24 months. Okay, so I think, let's see, when is this truce up, actually? Ooh, more revolutions, we love that. Anyway, truce. That is up in 16 months. Okay, we're gonna have to figure out who to invade. What about you? Pun intended. 16 months, that makes sense. I did release you from the country. Okay, maybe we insert ourselves into this area. Maybe we go after Dainam. That's a big maybe. We just have to send the navy over. Also, we can only have 165 ships here, so let me just make sure. Okay, yeah, we're not going to hit 165. Marina Kingdom backs down. Okay. Transvaal Colony. I don't think I've seen that name for this. Interesting. Philippolis? That's not a real place. Here, we'll get more construction. Come on, just 3 more months. 3 more months, then we can go into Vietnam. Although, actually, what I need to do is bring the fleet over. Let's go with power projection in here. Because I don't think we have any involvement in Indochina. Okay, yeah, we can get ourselves up to, I think maximum is 5,000, right? No, up to 5,000 is... up to influential, okay. Yeah, it would be nice if we could maybe get ourselves up to engaged. At the very least before we start this, because 10% infamy, that's not that bad. Actually, what are you doing? Oh, just a revolt, okay. There we go. Now we can at least start annexing countries. It's a little bit expensive. Oh, because you do have a decent population. Okay. I have a question. Is Victoria 3 worth playing? Well, I enjoy the game. Kind of hit or miss. I feel like you'll either really like Victoria 3 or you won't like it at all. And I kind of like it. It is significantly improved over how it was when it released. Like, it's definitely playable. It's still a little bit wacky. I still think we could use an improvement and rework to the army systems. I think we could use a rework to like everything involving war actually could use a rework. The whole Diplo play system, the way that peace deals are arrived at, the way that armies function still would be better. Well, that's in a better state than EU5. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to be in a worse state than EU5 right now. Wish there were more journal stuff. Other than that, I enjoy it. Yeah, I'm pretty much of the same opinion. I think that Victoria 3 would benefit a lot from having, like, solid content, because they've spent a long time building up the fundamental systems to a state where arguably a lot of them should have been in at release. Just, you know, in my opinion. But now that the game is, you know, has more solid fundamentals, I side of the whole Diplo play and the, you know, ground war system. Other than that, you know, the economy system is great. The political system is decent. Maybe it could have improvements, because we still have too many, like, anarchist communes popping out of nowhere. Like, we still have the Piedmontian anarchist revolt. Just a lot of anarchists pop up in Victoria 3, actually. Which I wouldn't hate if there were, like, a major anarchist power, which sounds a little bit, you know, oxymoronic, but, you know, if we have, like, a large country that's, you know, they've all turned into anarchism and they're doing world revolution, then, like, okay, sure, I could kind of get behind that. That makes sense. But just, like, a lot of little anarchist states popping up. It's a little bit weird. Also, I don't know what to say about this. The Papal States not owning Rome, and they're actually subject to Russia. That's kind of funny. You know, half the time people say nothing happens in Victoria 3, but a lot of the time, there's too many things happening. There's too much happening, please. We need less happening. Please, John Paradox, I need less happening in my Victoria 3. I think someone in chat is having their cat walk all over the keyboard. Unfortunately. That's okay. You don't like EU5 grinding to a halt due to most of the world dying suddenly? It is very odd. It's very peculiar. I am interested to see, or to hear about what the idea behind all that is. Like, we have this beta that drops for EU5, and it's pretty apparent on day one that a lot of things are not great. And I'm kind of curious about why they wanted to release this beta as it is. Like, I'm sure they knew about this, right? Maybe? I think. What is Ingari, the country? That's a really good question. How did you exist? Who is this? Ngari. It's a Tibetan country. Oh, I think it's a revolter state that's named after the actual state itself. Yeah, they just split from Tibet. I wonder why that is. They're both theocracies. They split over serfdom and consumption-based taxation. Kind of a weird thing to split over, but okay. Oh, also, we did just pick up our colonial offices. So, I think we're gonna go ahead and actually... There we go, it's like 5 whole infamy less to annex Adam. So I think we'll just take over all of Vietnam. We'll do a little annexation here. No one's gonna try to stop me, I think. Hopefully. Oh, right, there's also Bali. We need to invade Bali. And give that to my subject. Okay, we'll do that too. So we'll start with Annam. I think I'll just start owning stuff directly, instead of giving it to colonial subjects. Because, like, sure, we have the Japanese East Indies, and that's cool and all that, but I think we're mostly interested in just direct control at this point. I think you should back down. I think that would be really cool. There's some control mechanics in Victoria 3. Well, I mean, you have states and you have cores. Or rather, you have, these are all states, but you have incorporated and non-incorporated states. So you can only collect taxes from incorporated states, but having unincorporated states is still actually kind of useful. Because it means that you don't need to have the bureaucracy cost. And also, if you have colonial exploitation, then your unincorporated states have more throughput on their plantations, mines, forestries, rubber plantations, that kind of thing. So expanding is not that crippling? Yeah, it is. It's not very crippling at all. It's actually the best thing you can do in Victoria 3 is basically just expand. There are maybe some instances in which expanding is maybe not the best idea. But for the most part, like, you just want to expand all the time. Depends on where you expand, that's also true. But yeah, it isn't like EU5 where expansion is just bad. Well, expansion isn't necessarily bad in EU5, it just has a high upfront cost, which then it needs to be... you need to, like, figure out how to maintain it over time, and then it becomes useful. Yeah, if your infamy number is 0, you're doing something wrong, unless it's super early game for some countries. So for example, if you're playing like a British colony at the start of the game, you're gonna have 0 infamy for the most part. Because you're just trying to confederate into your larger country, Australia, Canada, for example. Unless you're doing something crazy with Canada, because you can definitely take a lot of America very early. But I think you need to be the Hudson's Bay Company specifically to make that happen. What's infamy? Is that like AE? It kind of is. Infamy is like a global stat. If your infamy goes up too much, then everybody kind of hates you. It's not just like a localized aggressive expansion kind of thing. There are some aspects of local expansion, and you know, it makes countries around you hate you more. So even if you have low infamy, countries around you can still hate you because you're expanding. So like some countries, you get diplomatic catalysts for like local, regional people hating you for expanding. But infamy is like a global aggressive expansion. If your infamy gets to, I think it's 125, then I'm pretty sure everybody refuses to trade with you at all. I think the entire planet just decides to embargo you at that point. And if your infamy reaches, I think it's above 75, then countries can use a cut down to size diplomatic play against you. And if they succeed, then you lose all of your territorial gains that you got over the past, I think it's 20 years? Maybe it's 10 years, I don't remember. So if you expand too aggressively, too quickly, then people don't really want to trade with you, and they will try to dismantle your empire. So if you want to become high infamy, then you need to make sure that you are the uncontested, strongest country on the entire planet. And you need to make sure that you kind of have a form of autarky as well, because that whole problem with the trade situation, countries not wanting to trade with you. So you want to make sure that you are large enough to have all of the resources you need within your market, so that if people refuse to trade with you, you can still have your empire, you can still have your military and have your ships. And then you can start doing world conquests. Anyway, we're gonna raise the Marines up. I think you should back down. I think you should do that. Well, I did warn them. I did say that they should back down. It's not my fault. There we go. Proportional taxation is going to help out the budget quite a bit. So we're not spending as much. And hopefully the trade unions are no longer that pissy. They're no longer as upset as they were before, because I need you to support me swapping to laissez-faire. And they don't like that. But that's kind of too bad. Also, at some point, I think I would like to pick up social monarchy. Just because eventually the socialist parties are going to become too strong. So, unfortunately, it may be the natural path of giving people democracy in Japan where we actually just go fascist. There are two options if you give everybody democracy in Victoria 3. Basically, you're going socialist or you're going fascist. Or the secret third option, if you actually make everybody super happy. But we're not doing that. Their standard of living is not that great. So there are two options. Blame it on the capitalists, or harness that for more imperial fervor. So we may or may not be going down political agitation. Your econ is melting? No, this isn't melting. This is called deficit spending. In fact, I'm going to spend more money. You might think it's a joke, but like it actually is the strat. I'm not even joking. Hold on, let me do this. If we went to commie, would we have to give up our colonies? No, we actually wouldn't. Not really, which I think is a little bit, I don't know. I feel like that's going to be something that might happen when we get to, eventually, there's going to be the Russia DLC, the State and Revolution DLC. So obviously they're going to have a lot more content for communists with the eventual, I want to say upcoming, but I think it's end of year Russia DLC. And so at that point, maybe they'll implement some decolonization mechanics if your empire goes communist. But also maybe not. Because there is, I think, a doctrine under some flavor of communist thought where you're actually like, no, we need to build communism in all of these countries. It's totally not imperialism, guys. We're just, we're just uplifting them to communism or something. I don't know. I'm not sure if I care that much about Caucasia or Circassia, but if it makes Russia upset, then I'm gonna do it. One day those debtors will catch you? No, they won't. They absolutely will not catch me. I can say that with absolute confidence. They will not catch me. I think I might also annex the rest of Vietnam. Still feels weirdly expensive to me, but we're getting minus 30 infamy generation against unrecognized powers. After all, we do have the minus 20% here. I mean, multilateral alliances is in 11 months. I could actually just wait for that, because that'll be minus 25%. And then for now, we'll just max out this navy. 165 full units in this navy, which is maybe a little bit too much. Japan color and British India colors too similar. I'm kind of hoping at some point that we are going to betray the British and just go after all their colonies, maybe break the empire. But that's not going to happen yet. Ooh, this is not good. Hold on. Oh shoot, you're already at war. I didn't even take the opportunity. Okay. So who's winning this? I'm kind of hoping it is our puppet in Manchuria that's winning this. But just in case it isn't, I'm gonna give you... Oh, you don't even have transit rights. Okay, we're gonna give you transit rights. That's kind of important. Sorry, wrong way. You need transit rights here. Manchuria can trade through us. Then I'm also gonna give you guns. Here. Ooh, I want 30, not 60. Take some guns. Yeah, wait a second, this isn't EU4. You can tell it's not EU5 either, because we're actually playing a good game of Japan. Okay, the Paris Commune is rising up. You know what? How many colonies does France have in Asia? Not that many, right? Oh, they have a few. Perhaps the French Republic could use a change in government. Have they fixed the basics of Japan in EU5? I don't think so. Well, I don't know actually. I haven't played them in a while. Also, we do not want this garrison. When can I invade China again? Diplomacy. 3 weeks. Okay, that's good. Uh-oh, radical movement. What do you want? You want a republic? Hell no. You want right of assembly and you don't want me to have secret police? I don't know about that one. Oh yeah, maybe I should corporatize the unions too. That actually would be a good idea. Because corporatism would actually be useful for us. Yeah, we're gonna corporatize the unions. Unless, hold on. Hold on. Are you guys really, you're revolutionary. I hate you. Okay, maybe we should probably corporatize the unions, actually, before we go laissez-faire. Maybe that's what we do. Because right now, with anti-strike laws, it is increasing the movement attraction of the socialists, anarchists, and communists. And it's also increasing radicals from political movements. So maybe we should corporatize the unions, and then hopefully they are less upset. Actually, no, if I do that, then the radical movement will definitely become revolutionary. How did you even become this militant? Yeah, right of assembly is not too bad to give them. You know what, fine. You can have right of assembly, but then afterwards I'm corporatizing the unions and going laissez-faire. It's all the debt? No, they actually don't care about the debt. They're radical probably because while we are becoming significantly more economically prosperous, the average person in Japan is seeing a very minimal amount of that prosperity. If I had to guess. Like, the lower classes are still impoverished. Even if the GDP continues to climb exponentially, people are still poor in Japan. Oh, you know what? I feel like we could kind of fix that, actually. Yeah, we can sort of fix that if we go and get some labor-saving production methods. It'll also create unemployment. But that's okay. Alright, I have a bit of a plan here. Step 1, power plants. We're gonna electrify the country. It's gonna cost a lot, but it's gonna be useful. That's step 1. Step 2. We are going to put on... do I want railroads? No, not yet. Transportation's too expensive. Okay. Steam donkey for all of our resources over here. That'll create unemployment, but that's okay. Because those people can go work and do other things. We could also get people to, like, move to Taiwan, I guess. But I don't know if I really want that. We can no longer help Manchuria against their revolts. I was a little bit too late to it, but it's fine. Okay, I actually do not want you to do a coup, so please don't. I think for now we'll just continue being friends with Britain and... you know what? It's fine to be friends with Portugal, and that's okay. We do not have that many friends. We don't like Germany because they're communist. We don't like France that much because we want their colonies. We don't like the British that much, even though we do have a defensive pact because, again, I want their colonies. Spain, I want the Philippines from them, so we're not friends with them. The closest friends we have are probably going to end up being like Brazil, Persia. We could probably be friends with Mexico, to be honest. We don't have any overlapping claims. Ooh, hello. You a modernist revolt. Would you by any chance like to maybe become a protectorate in exchange for some help in this war? I love funding proxy wars. You don't want to become a subject? Boo. They're no fun. Tools are literally just too cheap in this country. I cannot export enough tools. How did this even happen? How are we making so many tools? I mean, we do have 146% throughput. That's pretty big. Now do you want to become a subject? Come on, don't you want to be a subject? Wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't it be neat? Join the up-and-coming Japanese Empire? Wouldn't that be so neat? Wouldn't that be really cool? Yeah, we definitely need to take more stuff that uses tools. Actually... Yeah, because water tube boiler does that. I might only go water tube boiler. I don't know if rotary valve engine is actually worth that much, because it's double the coal. And it only gives you 500 fewer workers. So it kind of costs a lot more for the gain not being that much. But we do need to start enabling our labor-saving production methods. Because in many places, we literally just don't have enough people. I need a balance between using the steam donkeys, because we don't have that much engine production. I mean, we are the #1 producer of engines, and it's not even close. But we still need more if we want to pull that off. So instead, we might be fixing a lot of our manufacturing through getting water tube boilers, because we need the tool consumption as well. Make more engines? I mean, I'm sure the private sector will eventually make more engines. But for now, we need to start using our tool capacity. Come on, don't you want to join the Empire? Wouldn't that be so neat? Please? They do sometimes swap up when they start actually mobilizing. Please, wouldn't that be so cool? I don't think they want to join. Well, darn. You have enough trade centers? I think we do. I think the problem is that we actually just have an overproduction of tools. Like, let's just take a look here. So, when we look at the global production of tools, you can see here that we are producing more than the rest of the world combined. Maybe even doubled. So, our main issue is that we genuinely have an overproduction. We're actually just making too many tools. Lobster too buttery, steak too juicy, etc. And this isn't even my fault. I didn't even build all these tools. The private sector was just like, we need more. We need to produce more tools. And the worst part is, we don't even have the maximum production method for tools yet. We could still make more tools once we get access to rubber. We just have too many tools, and I don't know what to do with it all. I think, unfortunately, we're just going to have to collapse the tool market. We're already exporting 22,000 tools. It is our #1 export. If anybody in the world needs tools, they buy them from Japan. Like, you're Britain, you want to buy tools? Or like, you're Brazil, you're going to import 787 tools from Japan. I think our biggest customer is actually the British. So we might have, unfortunately, created a bit of a reliance on Britain. Because they purchase 13,500 tools from us each week. Unfortunately, we may have caused a bit of an issue where we are exporting too much to Britain. And so if we sour our relations, it might cripple our economy. But it would also cripple their economy. So I'm not really sure how to feel about this. Get the world addicted to your tools, then pull the rug out from under them when you go to war? Well, that's the thing. It is pulling the rug out from under them, but it's also going to cripple my economy. So much of our economy is based on the export of tools. So, yeah, we would be able to cripple their economy by shooting ourselves in the foot. Okay, yeah, let's get rid of this coup, please. I do not want it. Okay, looks like Manchuria is winning. That's great. These guys, they never really wanted my support in exchange for becoming a subject. That's fine. But in 3 months, we're going to get minus 25% infamy generation, which is really cool. And in another year, we can just subjugate Manchuria for free. So that's pretty neat. Yes, no coup, please. Thank you. Yeah, the armed forces... What do I even do with you? You are the... You're the Grand Admiral of the fleet. And you trying to do a coup. Listen, buddy. I think... Yeah, I think he's either gonna die or get exiled. Either way, he is not going to be in charge of the Navy anymore. We're gonna transfer you over to this Navy and give you a promotion. Congratulations, you are the new Grand Admiral. Hold on. You don't have the same ability. You actually can't have that many ships. Okay, new plan. We're gonna transfer, like... Sorry, we need to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10 of these. This other navy. And then we need a new admiral for this one. Wounded, I don't like that trait very much. But it's not that bad. Also, wait, you are a child. What? No, you're not. This is a grown man. What do you mean? Ideology, child. Brother, you are a 47-year-old man. What do you mean? You know what? That's a very experienced naval commander for a 47-year-old child. You know what? You have the job. Cutting the tool trade would kill your tools industries, but it would kill their entire industrial chain. That's true. Or industrial chain. Oh, never mind, he's gone. Alright, there he goes, I guess. Okay. Ooh, I do like this guy. You're gonna be in charge of the Navy. One of the navies. You know what this game needs more of? Actual pirate mechanics. I know they exist in the game, but one of the things, like the British Navy was so overextended a lot of the time because they had to protect the sea lanes, you know? They had to protect the trade routes. They never really get harassed in this game. Like, nobody privateers trade routes. Wasn't he the guy you just exiled? Oh, maybe. I don't know why he was a child, though. Oh yeah, electricity buildings are done. Thank you. Alright, first... the electricity buildings we are going to put on... electric sawmills. And then, with electricity, what I like to do is go over here and turn on auto expand. I guess we'll do that with government administration too, and then you all need to have this. Now, next question. Do I make another navy? Britain has 300 ships. I might as well have 300 ships, right? I'm gonna have to start phasing out some of these ships, though, because a lot of them are really old. We'll just keep on building more ships. Waiter, another navy, please. So what kind of ships do we have here? Modern ironclads is the best we've got. Sure, we'll just build more of these. Maybe 5. Yeah. 5 modern ironclads. We already have 1 navy, which is capable of moving pretty much any army it needs to move. It's the second one. I don't think we're going to focus on landing as much. I think this navy is going to be the screw you, blow up everything you own navy. Unfortunately, we can only use iron frigates for that. So we're going to build like 50 of these. And then... traditionalist commander for the Admiral blockade strength. Yeah, that actually does kind of line up. So I don't like the vulnerability here. Yeah, we'll put you in charge. Any progress with Hawaii? They're just the subject. I mean, I could annex them if that's what you mean. Actually, do you even like me enough to be annexed? We're more likely to annex Brunei. Hawaii is still getting ticked down. Could actually annex the Japanese East Indies. It would be a lot of infamy, but they have a high chance of backing down, which I think reduces the infamy, maybe. Maybe. Just melt the tools to build more ships. Real? You have plans with the Philippines. Kind of. You know what? I will reduce the enactment time, actually. So the plan with the Philippines is that eventually we're going to be strong enough to fight Russia and Spain and maybe Germany simultaneously. Because I'm pretty sure those 3 are in a block together. Not a power block, per se. Oh, no, never mind. Okay, what we might do is just go after Russia to take all of Siberia. And then maybe also we will transfer the Philippines in that war. But for now, what I'm doing is I'm kind of just taking the low-hanging fruit. So once we get our reduced infamy generation in 6 weeks, what we're going to do is go after China because we can get a lot more for our infamy. And then eventually, when we are super strong and literally unstoppable, then the amount of infamy we generate doesn't matter. So we can go after the Philippines, we can go after Russia, we can do anything we want. But just not yet. Also, this is incredibly cursed, I don't even want to talk about it. Did I actually set these up? I do not remember saying, yeah, let's just expand a whole bunch of administration in weird places. I don't remember building these. Am I crazy? Am I gaslighting myself? I don't remember putting these in the queue. Oh, you know what? I might have... Did I click the wrong button here? Did I accidentally build... Naval Administration in the wrong place? Maybe I did. Oh, I set it to auto-expand. Oh, no, you're right. I did. Okay. I didn't realize it would expand it in places where it should not be expanded. That was weird. I was thinking like, oh yeah, back in Japan that makes sense. Like, yeah, expand all that. That's fine. But expanding it in Beijing, like, no, that doesn't make any sense. Because we're not going to incorporate this. So we don't need any government administration here. In fact, because these are going to produce bureaucrats, we actually don't want them to be Han. Or like over here, we just don't need them at all in China. Like, we should just get rid of these. I plan to turn them into, like, direct, actual, just colonies. I'm probably not going to incorporate them. So, because we get no tax collection, like, what's the point, right? There we go. Minus 25% infamy generation. I think it's time for us to go after China again. Wow, would you look at that? Shandong, a total of 6 infamy. I know it's hard to see that because my massive shoulders are in the way, but... here we go. You can see that. 6 whole infamy. Isn't that crazy? 6 whole infamy to take Shandong. So I think we're going to annex half of China in this war. It's basically free infamy. Actually, why can't I just annex you? That's a good question. Why is my annex button not working? Diplomatic demands. We have a return state? American Sakhalin. I actually forgot that the Americans own this. How strong is America? They're doing alright. Nothing crazy though. Their navy is pathetic in comparison. Their army is also pathetic in comparison. Their GDP, frankly, kind of pathetic in comparison. But they're doing okay. Also colonies. You know what? I might as well colonize something. There really isn't a point in not colonizing something. Might as well put that progress towards something at all. Next. I want to annex country. Why can't I do that against you? Because you need to be an insignificant power. And what are you right now? Unrecognized regional power. Because you need to have prestige below 45. That's a very difficult thing to do. Literally just from existing, their GDP is too high. But I could make them into a protectorate. For only 8.6 infamy, so that's not a bad start. Okay. Ooh, actually, let me think about this for a second. So because Manchuria isn't a protectorate yet, if we create too much infamy for ourselves, then they might leave the power block. So it might be best to wait until Manchuria is willing to become a protectorate, and then they can't leave. So maybe we'll burn off a little bit more infamy for the time being. Although I wish I could find out exactly how long this last year is. It's gotta be up soon, I think. We'll see. Ooh, unstable government, my favorite. Okay, how do we fix this? Who actually wants right of assembly? Trade unions. Yeah, of course you do. Okay, well, is there a way for us to... Yeah, no, that wouldn't work. Okay, of course. It's very difficult to have a legitimate government with these guys in charge. I might have to reduce taxes, but that's going to kind of cripple the economy slightly. But we'll do it just to pass this. It's not that bad. Our actual pool of credit has expanded faster than we've taken out debt, so... not a huge deal. Take the Australian native states. I might... but what I really, really want to do right now is just take a massive chunk out of China. How do you come out of this deficit? You don't. The point is not to come out of this deficit. The mindset... okay, so... the mindset around debt is kind of different in Victoria 3, especially when we are this powerful. This debt, you might as well treat it as if it does not exist. It does not actually matter to us how big this debt is. What matters is whether or not our credit, if our principal, is exceeding the speed at which our debt capacity is expanding. And so, because the economy is expanding fast enough, the debt ceiling is rising faster than the actual amount of debt that we're taking out. In other words, no matter how long we rack up this debt, it will never be too much debt. Didn't you want to increase standard of living? I probably will soon enough. But the way that I'm going to increase standard of living for people in Japan is going to be through labor-saving production methods, so that fewer people are employed at places that make the same amount of money, which in theory will raise the competition of wages within the country and force the capitalists to pay their workers more. In theory. That's a really big in theory kind of moment. Or, for example, what we could do is go over here, get the water tube boilers, which will decrease the number of workers, thus increasing the total ratio of goods being produced. So it might actually make it profitable, maybe. But of course, we need resources for that. For example, coal. That's a big one. So when it comes to these tooling workshops, a lot of them that are starting to lose employment because tools are too cheap, or same thing with steel. What we're going to do is just throw on the labor-saving things here. It says it's going to reduce the balance. I actually don't know if I believe that. Okay, maybe I should believe them a little bit. The problem is that if we want to do labor saving, it's going to have to be gradual, because we just need so much coal. I genuinely don't think there's enough coal in the entire empire to support how much we're going to need. Which is also kind of a Japan moment. Wouldn't that do the opposite? Less people doing the same task makes competition for the spot harder since there are fewer jobs, meaning lower wages. Right now, because there's almost no unemployment, I feel like it kind of does the opposite. Because there aren't really enough people to work these jobs. So, like, the companies, they make more money, and if they all make more money, and there's low unemployment, then they're all kind of going to have to compete more, I think. I think in the short term, maybe it'll depress wages slightly, while we are technically increasing unemployment. But as unemployment reduces, and we have these labor-saving PMs, then what we're left with in the end is companies are making more money employing fewer people, and there's less unemployment. So they're going to have to use some of their newfound wealth to pay their employees more to compete for people. So short term, I think it'll increase unemployment and decrease wages, But long term, it will increase wages, I think, overall. But it also depends on how much we can export, because again, we just have too many tools. That's also kind of part of the point of the colonies. So the other thing is, as we continue to expand the colonies and we get more people working in more industries, for example, we take over Beijing, we start building coal mines, we start employing the local population in the coal mines. The coal mines take tools. So the companies back home, which are making tools, make more money. Or in other words, we are going to exploit the labor of the colonies to improve the profitability of all the industries back home and increase the wages of the primary population. Primary in this case being the full acceptance population. Don't you just love economic imperialism? Okay, we can subjugate Manchuria. Lovely. That is exactly what we wanted. Let's just make sure that the... Actually, yeah, never mind. Okay, so they're in the power block now. That's lovely. Very cool. As a protectorate. Of course, they're already reliant on us. That was kind of the whole point. So now it doesn't matter how much infamy we get. I mean, it kind of does, but not for Manchuria. So I think we would like to take all of the coastal states of China. What we're kind of doing here is creating a captive market. So all of the pops in China are also going to be forced to buy goods that are manufactured in Japan. So notice how we have a whole bunch of peasants, right? But we're going to make them work in like the fields and plantations and whatnot. So after that, they're going to still need clothing and stuff. But don't worry, back home in Japan, we're going to produce a bunch of clothing and then sell it to people in China. So, what's your capital again? Hefei? Okay, I don't think there's much we're going to do there. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and begin our conquest of China. Problem is, we need to figure out what state in China can we go after, which China is unlikely to simply give up. Of course, there's the capital. We could just go for that, I guess. Fujian seems to have a high amount of their GDP, so they might not back down on Fujian. Just in case, I'm gonna save. Because I really don't want them to back down. Okay, we have two armies here. Okay, it looks like my chat was kind of not working, my YouTube chat. Okay, so a bunch of comments did not load for me. Yeah, in theory, due to my economy still growing, unlike modern stagnant ones, they should be able to reskill into other places. Yeah. Triangle trade with less slavery. I don't know if I'd say less. That one's a little bit arguable. Actually, we'll keep you in there. Worried? Yeah, you should be. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so I'm really hoping you're not going to back down on this, because it's going to be a little bit gross, the amount of stuff I'm about to take. So it's going to be Shandong next. Actually, We should wait until people declare their neutrality first. Did he puppet Manchuria? Kind of. So Manchuria is now a protectorate. They will become a puppet in probably 4 years? Maybe? Okay, I'm going to add another primary war goal because I'm afraid of them backing down. Because they might back down on Fujian. But I think if I go after Shandong as well and they're both primary, then they probably won't back down on that. Actually, no, that's dumb. What I should do is go after something that isn't as important, but is cheaper still. How many maneuvers do I have? 225. Okay, and things cost about 25 on average. Let's go after maybe Inner Mongolia. Maybe make this primary. Well, no, actually. Here's a better idea. We should liberate Mongolia and make that primary. It probably won't back down if I do that, and it only costs 30, and it's no infamy gain. So I'm just going to throw this on here to make sure that they don't back down. And then I'll throw on the rest of my conquest. Because I don't think they're going to back down. Probably. We have 180 maneuvers. Hopefully that's enough. Okay, hold on. That's not good. That's not good. Hold on. I don't want them to back down. Shoot. Alright, we're gonna have to add something else on there. Back, how's the game going? Very imperialist, I'd say. We'll have to add something else to primary. Maybe Shandong? Maybe make that primary? Hello, Britain. Investment rights. I'm actually not very interested in investment rights with Britain. Why not force the diplomatic play? We are forcing it. This is the play. It's happening right now. If they back down, we can't control that. We can only keep on enforcing more primary demands. We're already in the play. Anyway, no, we're not interested in investing in the United Kingdom or Great Britain right now. Because we only want to invest in our colonies. We are building our empire. Okay, please do not back down on this. Okay, you are definitely not going to be in charge of the military. Oh shoot, the trade unions, they're too influential. We need political agitation now. Okay, that's a little bit cooked. Nobody actually wants right of assembly. But if I cancel it, I'm a little bit afraid about how bad this is going to be. Because yeah, it'll make the radical movement more upset. They will start protesting again. Well, if it fails naturally, it's not my fault. I tried. I just didn't try very hard. Okay, they are mobilizing. That is a good sign. Also, we're definitely going to have to increase taxes. A wine shortage? How the hell do we have wine shortages? Oh yeah, because I gave the army wine. We actually produce no wine in the entire Japanese market? Really? Not even a little bit of sake? Not even a touch? Not a singular drop? Drank all the wine, sorry boss. It appears to be. Yeah, that law is cooked. We're never passing that. That's fine. Okay, you guys actually need to get yourselves over to here using this navy. So please do that. Because it appears they're not going to back down, hopefully. Please do not back down. Please do not back down. American diplomatic play from us. Okay, you... Oh, you might be the dumbest possible AI alive. Why would you do this? Are you dumb? Are you sick in the head? Why would you try this? I'm gonna take Alaska, chat. Like I think I'm just gonna take it. I think you don't deserve to have Alaska after that. Goal number 1. We are definitely taking the rest of our islands here, so... That's step 1, okay? Step 2, we're going to bring Britain into this war. I feel like we're not even going to have to do anything, because how big is your navy? 51 ships with a 16.8 power projection? Brother, mine is 70.5. And Britain's is 153,000. Genuinely, what are you cooking? I cannot fathom the thought process behind that, but okay. Just in case Qing backs down, because I really want this opportunity to take over Alaska, we're just going to go ahead and add a few things on here. Oh, maybe they're reasoning that if we take more stuff, then Britain won't actually help us. But even then, I can solo you. It doesn't matter. Anyway. We also want Jiangsu. We're gonna take that. We also want... we already took Fujian. We want Zhejiang. I don't know how to pronounce any of these things. I'm just guessing at this point. Yoink. And then Suzhou. We'll take that too. We already have the treaty port. Might as well take the whole thing. That's the entire Chinese coastline. After that, they are entirely cooked. So what else are we going to take from Qing? I'm thinking... what do I care about here? We definitely need the coal, so Jiangxi is not a bad idea. Maybe it's pronounced Jiangshi. Sometimes the I kind of sounds like an sound. I've noticed. From the opinions of a professional non-Mandarin speaker. Isn't there something here that gives you extra coal, or am I crazy? Maybe I'm crazy, never mind. Northern Anhui is not a bad one. More coal. There seems to be infinite coal in China. Oh, we probably should take Nanjing too. Actually, there's not really much here. Just a lot of agriculture. Inner Mongolia? Maybe. They have iron and lead. And a lot of potential for wheat farms. Other than that, nothing too useful that I actually want. It's mostly coal that I'm after, to be honest. Yeah, I'll take Northern Anhui. And then we can take one more state. Maybe Henan, because there's like a lot of coal, a lot of sulfur, a lot of population too. Then maybe something small I can also take. There might not be anything actually. Yeah, I don't want that stuff in the middle of nowhere. Okay, what else? That's a good question. I don't think there's anything else I would take. Could transfer Tibet, but that's meaningless. Okay, maybe this will just be the war. So please do not back down. They might, actually. I am demanding a lot. Tsunami stones indefinitely to reduce the tsunami harvest condition impact. Yeah, you know what? We should probably inoculate ourselves against natural disasters. So America is actually mobilizing their entire conscript army as well. It's just so puzzling. Like, I genuinely do not understand what they are cooking. Yeah, I think we are taking all of the coast. I don't think I forgot anything, did I? I think I'm taking it all. And then this army over here. Can I upgrade any of these? Well, just in case, we'll do that. Unless that was really dumb. No, it's fine, okay. So we're going to use the Marines to just do a naval invasion in Fujian as well. But I think overall we should have what we need. A little bit worried about the actual supply ship cost, but it should be fine. Alright, America. Well, yeah, immediately worried. Are you dumb? Are you stupid? Yeah, you should be. You moron. Okay, yeah, we are going to also take Alaska. I think it's very reasonable for us to take Alaska. I think that should be mine. Well, first we're going to call Britain into this. Yeah, look how stupid you are. Don't you feel dumb? Don't you feel a little bit stupid? Don't you feel a little bit silly? I'm taking Alaska. I'm making it primary too, because screw you. And then on top of that, you know what? Let me think about this. Do I want a total war against America right now? Because I might. I might do it. While I still have Britain on my side, do I want a total war against the United States? Because I could liberate a lot from the United States. And if we don't hit them now, then they're only going to become stronger, right? So... take a treaty port in California. Real? Actually, can I do that? Holy shit, I can. Maybe not California for some reason. I can take a treaty port in New York. That's goated. The problem is, like, we're getting dangerously close to 75 infamy, which is not great. Treaty port in New York is so goated, though. I might actually take that. Problem is, let me think about this. There's no Panama Canal right now. There's, well, there is a Suez. So, well, no, there isn't a Suez. The Germans have simply taken Sinai. They've taken the strip to build the Suez Canal, but they're not actually building it. Thanks, Germany. Maybe I should take... I should take the Sinai strip here from Germany so that I can build the canal and get my resources to market in Europe. Maybe I should do that. Maybe. Now, what we're gonna do is actually liberate, I think, California, because I don't think it's reasonable for us to actually take California at this point. But I could add them to the Empire and then subjugate them. Yeah, screw it. Liberate California. We're gonna liberate Oregon. Maybe New Africa too? Maybe Texas? It's unfortunate that I can't liberate the Confederacy. Because that would just split them in half. That would be nice. They do have a pro-slavery movement. Wait, do you still have slavery? Rose still has slavery. What is wrong with you? Okay, so I guess they never had the Civil War. I never even noticed that. Aw. You know what? I'm gonna rival you too, because I just don't even like you. That's mostly it. How are you confident? I wish I had your level of confidence, buddy. That is impressive. Okay. So, wait a minute. This is starting to feel a little bit familiar. We're invading China, and at the same time, we're starting to beef with the United States. Wait a minute. This feels kind of familiar. Okay, well, we're gonna keep on crippling the United States. We're gonna go into Texas. We're gonna liberate Texas, of course. I think Texas deserves to be free. And then we're gonna go in, we're gonna liberate New Africa. I think they deserve to be free. And then just to make sure you don't back down, I'm absolutely going to make California primary and probably Oregon primary. Just to make sure you don't back down. And then a humiliate would be funny. But not that useful. Maybe I take a treaty port in the United States. Yeah, you know what? You know what? Maybe I do take that treaty port. District of Columbia treaty port would be diabolical. The District of Columbia is super tiny. I think I would just take the entire state as the treaty port. In fact, I don't even know if that would work. I think the New York treaty port makes more sense. Although it is cheaper for District of Columbia, that's true. Maybe I'll just take whatever's cheapest. Maybe I'll get one from Virginia. That's not cheap. Maryland? That's not cheap. Delaware? I'm not allowed to do that, okay. New Jersey? Not allowed to do that, okay. Connecticut? Same cost. Rhode Island? Not allowed. New Hampshire? Not allowed. Maine? Yes, allowed. Same cost. Okay, you know what? I'll just take it from New York. I think that's funnier. Because if we take the treaty port, I think we take the entire city of New York. So, for the fact that that's going to be funny, I think I'm going to do it. Now, please don't back down. Please. This is going to be the funniest thing we can do in this entire campaign. So, this navy is like the really old one. I think we're going to use this to blockade China. Go ahead, America. Add some more demands, why don't you? Go ahead. Don't get shy now. You already wanted the treaty port, right? Add something else. Where's your capital? Is it in Nanjing? No, it's in southern Anhui, okay. So you are gonna go towards... Well, we need the war to start, actually. Sure. Okay, war in China started. Push towards, southern Anhui. Push towards southern Anhui. And you should also just push towards southern Anhui, to be honest. I think everybody should. This army. You are going to do a little naval invasion for me, actually, of Fujian. This navy is going to do blockades of the Chinese ports so that they cannot import guns or anything. And then the war against America is going to be interesting because, yeah, they are going to beat up Canada a little bit, which is kind of a shame, but it is what it is. French Republic, damaging relations. I don't think you can afford to worry about me, buddy. Also, Germany and Russia fighting each other. Wait a minute, this is starting to feel a little bit familiar. Hold on a second. Germany and Russia fighting each other? I'm invading China while also fighting the United States? Starting to get flashbacks of a different timeline. It's interesting. Are we the baddies? Yeah. Yeah, we definitely are the baddies in this timeline. There's really no sugarcoating it. Ah, shoot, we got this event at the same time. We just got 20% increase. Okay, well, we're not getting that then, I guess. I would still like laissez-faire, though. Are you guys gonna be angry at me if I do this? A little bit, yeah. Maybe I can force it through anyway. But I'm going to save before I do, because I'm a little bit afraid that it's not actually going to work the way I want it to. Oh, also, are these all incorporated? Almost, for the most part. Okay, so what we have to do is actually put down a lot of national edicts. A lot of these decrees. I think we also want power block statues. Because they decrease the cost of decrees. Yeah, I might get rid of some of these. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of some of these resource industry ones. This one might still be useful though, hold on. Yeah, you're still producing a lot of coal and sulfur, okay. We're gonna go ahead and put these down in Korea because we kind of need to. I'll turn off some of these, they're not that important. Okay, the war against China is progressing quite well already. Against the United States, it's gonna be interesting. Do I want anything else? I don't think so. We're just gonna throw on... maybe make something else primary, because I actually do want this war against the United States. So we're gonna make the New Africa thing primary. Just to make sure they don't back down, you know? This timeline, chat, what did he mean by this? Like, literally the campaign we're playing? We are literally the bad guys right now, yeah? Like, the current timeline that we are currently playing? We are definitely evil? Evil is such a big word. I prefer flexible morality. One man's suffering is another man's profit, I suppose. Oh, wow. So, the Canadians are actually holding against the American offensive. It's pretty impressive, actually. We'll see how long that lasts. The manpower difference is simply too high. Unless they do it. Oh my god. Canada the goat? Actually fending off the American invasion? Goated? His hat is proportional to his W's. Holy. This guy is crazy. fending off a force 4 times their size, almost 5 times their size. In the plains of the prairies, no less. Uh-oh, the economy is actually starting to go down a little bit, which we do not want it to do. Problem is, we don't have enough coal. We are expanding the coal a little bit, but we need a lot more coal. Okay, we've taken the Qing capital. Basically, we've won this war already. In fact, these links have all... Or sorry, these fronts have all linked up. So I'm actually going to begin my naval invasion of... Oh, even the British are doing a naval invasion of American Sakhalin. Okay, don't worry. We'll get the Marines on that, actually. We can't because Britain is doing that. Okay, well, if they succeed, that's good. We're gonna go into Alaska. Oh shoot, they can only hold on for so long. We actually do need to reinforce the Canadian border, because that's going to be our entryway into the United States. Naval invasions are going to be extremely tedious. So once this war with China is over, we're going to shift the entire army over to the east. Or the west. The east of us, I guess. Okay, thank you very much, Qing, for all of these beautiful concessions. I do appreciate them. Now, isn't that beautiful? Now, what to do next? Look at that GDP. It's going to spike in 3 seconds. And then it's probably going to drop again, but... There we go. A little spike at the end there. Now, the rest of the army, we don't really have the capacity to transfer the rest of the army right now. I suppose we could if we combined these armies together. Or these navies. But I really don't think we have to be honest. We'll just go ahead and make sure that we go into China and reset production methods. Kind of forgot to do that. And then this navy is going to blockade the American West Coast. I think we might as well blockade that just in case. Well, maybe not, because we can actually tell what ports are going to go where. So yeah, because this does connect to the American market through this little line here, you can tell that we do need to blockade this too. Okay, any second now, you guys can just start this naval invasion. It's taking you kind of a while to actually begin. Not really sure why that is. There you go. It just takes a while sometimes. Britain sending their 1 troop up into Sakhalin. I do appreciate the help here. Might actually demobilize half of my army. No, that's a terrible idea. This is all a really bad idea. I need you to stop unassigned blockade. We actually are going to group up the navies and start transferring our armies over into Canada so that they can hold the line. Although they're not doing a bad job right now, actually. Which is kind of nice. Yeah, okay, so I'm pretty sure right now our private sector is kind of buying up all of the stuff in China. I'm kind of worried that we'll never complete the corporate empire, because I don't think the Zaibatsu are ever going to own 25% of the entire economy. So that might be a little bit cooked, actually. We might never complete this. I should probably build a few more of these ironclads. Maybe 2 more. Well, we can build 5 more if we build another, I think, 25 of these. Okay, somehow we're just going straight to Canada. That's cool. Actually don't want that, though. We're gonna plan an invasion of California. Hopefully this is going to ease some of the American troops off of the border. Distract them a little bit. I have no idea where the Marine Corps is going, but hey, you do you, I guess. Okay, we're gonna group up these 2 navies together. M for merge. We're gonna bring at least 1 army back home, actually, to reduce the supply burden. Can't you create more Zaibatsu? We could. I think Mantetsu counts as a Zaibatsu company. So we will pick up another company with corporate governance. Because we do need one for Chosen as well, like the government of Chosen. Okay, so this one is glass, railroads, and coal. This one is for basically agricultural goods, rice and wheat. Not exactly a great company. Because we already have coal and railways. So Mantetsu is a little bit redundant. As for glass, I don't know if we have a glass company yet. No, we do, Mitsui, okay. So Mantetsu is completely covered by other ones. The Oriental Development Company is just kind of weak as it is. Because personally, what I would like for companies is going to be one that produces engines. Probably the next one that I want. Kind of interesting that there's no Japanese company for engines. You need Mitsubishi? Do they produce engines? They could produce engines, okay. Also have iron, paper, and shipyards. Iron is covered. Paper and shipyards aren't too bad if we give them engines too. I was kind of hoping we could have them produce vehicles, like, not just train engines and stuff like that, but like actual vehicles. But they are a Zaibatsu. Well, they do give us 10% automotive industries throughput. What iron company, or what is producing iron? Sumitomo. Is that because I gave you iron? It is. Okay, so I could actually take Sumitomo off of iron. I guess. Mitsubishi, they make cars and planes. Funny enough, they actually kind of don't in this game. That's the weird thing, is that they actually don't produce planes at all. I don't think it's even possible to get them to make planes. Because motor industries aren't the thing that actually allow you to make planes. If we do want to make planes, I don't even know if we can check. But what we need for planes is combustion engine automotive industries here. And then these can produce planes. Although it doesn't tell us this, but if we go down into military here for airplane production, right, that's in automotive industries. But Mitsubishi cannot produce automotive industries. They can only produce the engines, which are, like, for a while now, they've been separated. Motor industries and automotive industries have been separate for a while now. So I don't know if they just kept this from the old version before they updated Japan or whatnot, but... No, they mustn't. That's not possible. Like, there's no way they did that. Otherwise, the company would not give you a boost to automotive industries. Like, they know that Mitsubishi cannot produce automotive industries. It's very weird. So let's say if we don't want historical, just like say any automotive industries, we have pretty much one choice, maybe two choices. Because we could take Michigan and set up Ford Motor Company. Otherwise, it's the generic company for us. Okay, so you can sit here and actually, I'm gonna demobilize you. You can just chill there for a bit. These guys, however, are going to be deployed to the Canadian-American border. We are spending a lot of money on this war. But the investment pool is rising, kind of. The only reason this number isn't actually going up is because people are just buying up all of the privatized industries. In fact, what I should do is, let's go to my building registry, and we're going to go to buildings that are located in Japan. There has to be a filter for states which are not incorporated. There we go. Unincorporated states in Japan. And we're going to go here, and we are simply going to... I think we're going to nationalize all of the Qing privately owned things. Maybe. Well, first what I'm going to do is privatize everything in Qing, so that the capitalists can buy up everything. We have very little interest in the government owning things. So in all of the colonies, privatize everything. And then we're going to go to has building levels with non-Japanese owners. And I think we are going to simply nationalize all of them. Cambodia nationally owned. These, whatever, privately owned. Manchu privately owned. Qing privately owned. So it's going to reduce our relations with a bunch of countries. That doesn't matter too much. I guess I do have to give compensation, which is going to be expensive. But it's not that expensive. We're going to give compensation, and then we're going to sell them back to our own capitalists. So it's not actually a big deal. Yeah, I think this is reasonable. So we're going to nationalize those. Then we are going to basically privatize everything. I think we're already doing that, actually. Just gonna make sure absolutely everything gets privatized at this point. Well, maybe not arms industries. Yeah, maybe we don't privatize these. Okay, do we have electricity shortages anywhere? No. Oh, we have an engines shortage problem. Really? Okay, well that's not good. Let's go and see what else we can actually delete in China. Because I'm sure we don't need all these things. Like, we don't want construction sectors in China. We don't need those. We also don't need government admin in China. We don't need universities in China. Definitely don't need naval administration either. Because we're not taxing people here, so it doesn't really matter. Alright, we don't need this many of these either, because that's kind of cooked now. It used to be the trade port, which is why we had so many things here, but now there's no trade port, so... Okay, I think that should work for us, maybe. Are you nationalizing the pandas? Yes, unfortunately the pandas are also being nationalized. Okay, if there's ever a time for us to land, it is before the American forces arrive in California, so I think we should speed this up a little bit. Don't you think, guys? Maybe we should... There we go, start our landing. Whoa. Where are we going? This is maybe the worst possible way to path into Canada. This is horrendous. We are not doing this, okay? We're gonna go to BC. It's so much faster. I don't know what that was, but we are not doing that. How'd the war with China go? Excellently. Oh, there we go. We have assault marines too. It's gonna make the landing a little bit easier. Like how the average standard of living just plummets. Well, they did actually take that. That's nice. The Americans are failing to at all make their way into Canada, so they are hooked. We're successfully landing in California. Very nice. All we have to do pretty much is distract them, keep them here for a little bit, while our second army is going to move up into the United States and attempt to push down south into the District of Columbia. I don't really care if Hokkaido has low migration attraction. I think we already have... Oh, I was going to say we have too many people here, but actually, no we don't. Oh, I'm so stupid. You know what we actually could do to try and use more tools? We could use harvesting tools for our wheat farms. For wheat and rice. Although it's not like we have very many. I wonder if maybe I could just go to... Building Registry, Incorporated States. And we're going to swap these rice farmers to harvesting tools. So that we can actually use more tools. Maybe. A lot of these actually aren't even profitable. And then guess what? We could actually make more tools still. If we want to do that, we're going to have to invest in rubber plantations. So we are going to piecemeal increase our tooling workshops to actually use rubber. In Beijing, hold on, we shouldn't have any of those in Beijing. We actually just have too many in Japan, though. But we need the demand to kick off, and then the industrialists will actually start building them. Yeah, I was a little worried about these supply ships, actually. I was afraid we wouldn't have enough, and we actually don't. But we are still invading America just fine, so that's okay, I guess. Alright, you guys, onto the border with the United States with a focus on reaching DC. And then this navy going to blockade. Actually, no. This navy will blockade this navy. Let me think about that. This navy should be faster, maybe. I think. Still no Panama Canal, it's cooked. Well, alright, so you're actually going to blockade the eastern coast. That is going to be really annoying. Actually, Britain, can I have coaling rights? Is that a thing? I don't think it is. I think it's probably fine for us to try and pull this off. Bro does not trust his generals, not in any way whatsoever. It's gonna take 80 days for us to wrap all the way around South America. It's cooked. Well, there we go. We're getting a decent defensive over here. Oh, hold on. Only Japanese formations, please. I don't know if I trust the Canadian generals to push us in the right direction, so... I appreciate the effort, but unfortunately... Let's just make sure that the armies here get the supply that they need. And I'm going to focus us on actually producing supply ships. Because clearly we need more. Peace deal? We've barely gotten started. I don't even, I don't even have all my entire navy on the East Coast yet. I haven't even isolated the United States yet. Now, do I blockade or do I bombard them? That is the question. Oh, the blockade efficiency is terrible. Because there are just so many states. Just too many states. Okay, you know what? We actually don't need to blockade the entirety of the United States. Because I'm realizing that they actually have almost no trade in the South. It's literally just New York. Like, what if I just blockade New York? Man, and there's almost no trade here anyway. Like, there's a massive resistance in New York from the local trade, and then you check and you look at the local trade, and there's like nothing in New York. Oh, also, I will definitely do that. Maybe it's their primary trade port? Oh, it might actually be. Yeah, the American market is in New York, and that world market access is dropping. Let's go. Rest in peace, the American economy. Oh, I guess we've also merged the front lines here. Alright, well, we can keep going. We don't really have to blockade the United States, actually. First of all, I think... Yeah, you need more people here. Or you need... Oh. Okay, you can't really fit that navy. We're gonna go and give you generalship. This navy should actually go back home. There we go, max colonial affairs for another minus 5% infamy generation. And it is now worth it for us to colonize Papua. Dominion of India is in default. Curious. Very, very interesting. Wouldn't it be crazy if India just happened to split into infinite pieces? Also, who's winning this? Oh boy, you're trying to do a lot. Okay, so why do you want Warsan Gali? That's just weird. Okay, anyway. You want regime change in Germany and German Sinai. That makes sense. Return German Sinai. Okay. Want to annex the Papal States. Transfer Finland. Transfer Tripolitania. What a weird war this is. Went up to the American East Coast in 1898 with ships of the line. Listen, the research just takes a while to get the good ships. I'm working on them. Uh-oh, that's not good. New mandate, though. I might maybe want vassalization. Not that good, though. Maybe advanced research, actually, so that we can remove some of the ahead of time penalty and also give ourselves more maximum innovation investment. Only temporarily. We don't even need to keep this. The problem is that we're still just kind of behind on technology, and I would like to fix that. Oh, hold on. This is a completely new front. That's the problem. Force march? No, it's fine. Maybe I'll give you railways, though. Uh-oh. I don't know if we can support an army going all the way to the east. Uh-oh. No, it's fine. It's fine. Maybe. Maybe it's not fine. Maybe I need to send you into here too. Yeah, it's actually not fine. Okay, now we're still missing... Oh, right, the entire fleet has no supply. Okay, let's... You know what, let's actually not blockade the United States. The supply cost is just not worth it. Oh, you're still taking up supply because you're not home. Shoot. That makes sense. Okay, this navy might have to go home, actually. Just for us to be able to continue this invasion. I mean, the armies are getting most of the supply that they need, but it's not really as much as I want it to be. Okay, I was a little bit concerned because it seems like the British troops are not doing that well, but it seems that we're doing fine. Okay, my navy is almost home. Perfect. Alright, supply is not as bad as it could be. We should be able to reach Washington, D.C. Should. That's a big maybe. Not the blunder. They got a second dug in, but I got a blunder? That's cooked. Oh, what if Britain leaves this? Nah, they wouldn't do that, would they? Still have 60 war support. Okay, they're fine. I think. Oh, don't leave. Where are you going? Come back. Come back. No, wrong spot, please. Please come back. This front line is so big. I hate when the army does this. That might have actually cooked the war. Oh my god, that might actually cook the war. Please, Victoria 3, please don't do this to me. We have no supply. We have no supply. Pause. You have to sit there for a while. Okay, what if I don't even know what to do. Maybe I'll get this army to also move here. No, that's not going to work. Right, because I have to move a navy over. Why do we have no supply? I'm looking at this and sure, we don't have the maximum supply ships, but we should have like 90% supply. Can I focus on just this? Just focus on supply ships, maybe? Oh, you know what? Maybe it's because I'm also demanding you get those. That is more stuff that has to be delivered. Come on. Okay, actually, you're gonna sit here for 1 second. You're gonna go on low supply priority. And you are just going to chill for 1 second, okay? You are going to get all the supply priorities that you actually have supplies. And this is going to take us at least, I think, 60 weeks to get supplied. Okay, well, we're getting somewhere at least. What even is the 5th Japanese army? Oh, right, it's these guys. We actually don't need these guys anymore. We're gonna split this navy again. Alright. Supply is going to let us get to 59 organization, which is something. The only problem is, like, the longer we sit here, the more opportunity we give to the Americans to sort of fix their business. Which is not ideal. We definitely need more sailors, too. And I think we have more coal, maybe. We have some more coal. Not much. Okay, let's go and need anything that uses more tools. Incorporated states, we need urban. Anything that uses tools, that doesn't use tools. That uses tools, we can do that. That uses tools. That'll use tools. Those are just tools, that's nice. Yeah, I don't think we have enough coal to make that work. Okay, we have enough supply to actually push again, so we're gonna do that. Okay. We've salvaged the situation a little bit. That's not great, but it's fine because the Americans are pushing us. Meaning they're attacking. Well, what do you know? Actual positive supply in this economy? In this war? Fighting a continent away, deploying an entire army? No way. Did I just tell this army to split? Am I crazy? $50 of these. All of those. These two. Kind of surprised that we haven't actually had any revolts yet. Like, not a single one. Even Qing is getting more revolts than we are. Although, there's a lot of radicalism in China. That's crazy. What do you know? Also, we can turn Manchuria into a puppet. Nice. I mean, when there's no flavor tag or flavor name for Manchuria, you don't get like Manchukuo or anything. We get Transvaal Colony, but not Manchukuo. Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot, we still have child labor. Maybe we should get rid of that at some point. Maybe. Still never did pick up laissez-faire. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. There we go. Now we can make good ships. Yeah, I'm gonna have to fix this navy. It is horrendously bloated. We're gonna do that after the war. So I'm still building supply ships. Maybe I can sell off my old ships to somebody for a favor or something. Come on, whoa, 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 peace. You don't want peace. We're so close to Washington, D.C. Like, I can smell it. I can smell the air of D.C. And if you're wondering, it does smell like victory. Oh, what do you know? That's useful. We should probably fix pollution. Yeah, let's do that. Now we can also trade more. Oh, I don't really have oil, though. That might get complicated. Let's go ahead and swap some of our ports to need oil. And then we should start developing that. Do we have any? Oh, we definitely have oil. Never mind. From whaling stations. Right. That's super funny, actually. That we have so much oil, but all of it is from decimating the whale population. No amount of oil is coming out of Brunei. None of it's coming out of Papua. None of it's even coming out of Taiwan. It's all just the whales. Poor guys. Oh, something has happened in India. Oh, this happened in India. Hold on. Peak is happening in India. That's what's happening right now. The British just lost control over India, and now there is a civil war between the Indian uprising and Bengal. Very, very interesting situation going on here. But I feel like we might have our next target. Maybe. Maybe they shouldn't contain so much oil if they want to live. If whales weren't meant to be hunted, then why are they such an excellent source of oil? Checkmate. Come on, I'm literally just outside of DC. It's like being at the gates of Berlin. Please, we're so close. Britain, I swear, if you leave this war. We're so close. We're right outside, please. Please. It should only take one battle. Just one. Just one battle. How bad could that be? Just one. Just one battle. Come on. Take it. Maybe 2 battles. That works. We can do 2. Who's actually winning this election? I wouldn't mind if the 2 parties at top win, actually. That's fine. Don't really want the Common People's Party to win, though. Are you like communist, or are you like social democrat? You're jingoist. You know what? That's actually not that bad. It is kind of funny how you have completely fallen off, though. They lost all of their political clout. The moment that they swapped out of being protectionist, they lost all of their clout. It's gone. Oh, and you know what? I might actually bring you guys into government, too. Come on, we're so close. Please. We won the battle for Washington, just let me have it. Please. It can't be this hard. It's John Pershing fighting me? I don't even know who this guy is. He's a historical character though, so I imagine he kind of matters a little bit. Okay, how's this looking? This is kind of fine actually. Oh my god. The Constitutional Government Association, they're all authoritarian. Please. It can't be this bad. How could it take us 4 battles to take Washington, D.C.? Well, hey, the credits is... or the debt ceiling is still expanding, the capitalists are still making money. In fact, we need to build more construction, actually. We are not done. Whoa. This is maybe not good. Yeah, they're really not a fan of the whole laissez-faire thing. Okay, I think we need more construction, actually. We will have some of these servicemen be radical, that's fine. Please! Please, I need to watch the Summer Games Fest trailers. I need to finish this war. I have 5 minutes. Please. We've already fought 3 times in DC and we've won every single time. It can't be that hard. Just one more. Just one more victory. Oh, and the government's cooked. No, it isn't. We're fine. Sure, whatever you want. You can have that. Come on. This has to be it. It has to be it. It has to be it. Let's go! That took so long. But DC is ours. White piece. I think the situation has changed, actually. I think it has changed a little bit. I think it's time for us. Wait, where's my treaty port? Oh no, it's here, never mind. Okay, we are taking Alaska. We are taking the Kuril Islands. We are liberating California, Oregon, Texas, New Africa, and we're getting our treaty port in New York. It's so peak. It's so peak. Look at that. We have taken Brooklyn. That's so peak. It's beautiful. Screw it. I might as well turn that into a state too. Why not? That's beautiful. That's brings a tear to my eye. Power block embassy, investment rights, guarantee independence, trade privileges, mutual, 5 years, take it or leave it. For California, Oregon, same thing, trade privileges, mutual, of course, because we want them to trade with us to become more dependent. Guarantee independence, okay, cool. You're just gonna let Canada have the same color as you? I don't remember saying I was gonna let them continue existing for very long at all. But this is beautiful. This is exactly how it should be, I think. This is peak. Unfortunately, we actually don't have time for a quick sign-off here, because the Summer Games Fest is actually starting soon, and I really did want to watch all the trailers. I'm kinda hoping that we're gonna get a Kingdom Hearts trailer, but I know that's not going to happen. Didn't I make a Japan save? No, I guess I didn't. Never mind. I'm just gonna do Japan YouTube. There you go. Oh, that's beautiful. This is so peak. Alright, we're gonna come back next time in, I don't know, a couple of days. Some point next week, we're gonna continue this campaign. It's gonna take at least 2, maybe 3 streams to complete it because I have goals. I have ambitions. And we're barely getting started. We might be the strongest empire on the planet, but we could always do better by dismantling every other empire. But that's where we're gonna pause things for today. Thank you, words. Been speaking for too long. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming in to watch today's stream. We got a lot done. Very happy that we managed to make so much progress. And I'm glad you guys were here to watch it happen. I'm not even sure what we're going to do with this New York treaty port, but we're going to figure it out because we have a lot of things we could sell to the United States. 66 million population that we can hold hostage and sell things to. And then we're going to get California, we're going to get Oregon, maybe even Texas and New Africa, possibly, who knows. Might even dismantle Mexico and put them in the power block. But we're going to find out next time. Let me just double save because I'm paranoid, and then we're going to end it. Thank you very much, everybody, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Friday. I might stream tomorrow. Maybe. Maybe not. We'll find out. There wasn't much of a schedule this week because, of course, I didn't know when the actual DLC, or rather the beta for the EU5 update, was going to release. So I couldn't really make a schedule. But anyway, I'll see you when I do. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening, and bye bit.